There is a lie we have been told for so long that it seems like common sense, that men choose women for love, but women choose men for access. I remember hearing that since I was a child. But if you look closely, historically, structurally, psychologically, men have been the original gold diggers. They just called it leadership. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, subscribe to my channel, and let's get into my notes on how Black women's gain of power is being used for the patriarchy. Do you remember in that interview when Eartha Kitt said that Harry Belafonte rejected her? Not because she wasn't beautiful, not because she wasn't talented, but because a Black woman couldn't do anything for him? That wasn't really shocking. It was clarifying. For a lot of Black women, that was not a revelation, more like a confirmation. Because by this time, Black women have already been navigating that sort of space. That Black excellence doesn't just require success. It requires understanding what success costs you in proximity to power. You know, it's never personal. It's positioning, power moves. Love under patriarchy is not the foundation. It's a language used to make negotiating feel intimate. Because what has always mattered for men connecting to women was access, proximity, legitimacy, and the consolidation of power. Even men with nothing understood this. Marriage gave him something: status, authority, a little kingdom. A woman didn't represent love, she represented leverage. The idea that women, especially Black women, are gold diggers is one of the most persistent narratives that we have. And it's truly backwards. Men are always projecting themselves on women, because men have actually always used relationships to secure resources, expand influence, and elevate their status. From royal bloodlines to corporate marriages and now celebrity pairings. But when men do it, it's considered ambition. When women do it, it's considered opportunistic. And race has been at the center of this structure the entire time. For Black men like Harry Belafonte, navigating white supremacist hierarchies, proximity to whiteness wasn't just about an aesthetic. It was strategic. And white women sat at the center of that access point, not by accident, as part of a function. White women weren't just partners. They were signals of assimilation, a shield from certain types of racial hostility, and a passport into restricted spaces. And what we don't actually talk about enough is that that position required participation. These women weren't just passive beneficiaries of the patriarchy. They were actively stabilizing it. Because even if they were dating, marrying Black men, they were aligning with white male power structures, which allowed them access to certain protections. And in exchange, they uphold the system. And that comes to the foundation of white feminism, not liberation, negotiation. This same strategy, when executed by Black women, is demonized. One of the major differences in this layer of the power structure within white feminist spaces, where they use their privilege to access more status in the system, just their race is enough. They don't actually have to have any power themselves. If Black women are in this space with this level of access, they have to be somebody. Not necessarily famous, but at least a Mensa genius. Because when we look at the Black women who are gaining power in the system by generating their own power through being cultural drivers, economic forces, and the center of narrative, they aren't being excluded from the system anymore. But now the system is looking at how they can use them. Now the system needs to see how they can be valuable to it, which means that they become a site of extraction. Because now we see men gaining relevance through their association to Black women. Offset became far more visible because of Cardi B. I know Cardi B is Afro-Latina and people will debate whether that's Black or not, but I saw her hair. Klay Thompson, who outside of basketball conversations has only become a part of cultural conversation because of his association with Meg Thee Stallion. And that is just how men extract from women. The same system, just a new resource. Because what used to be accessed only through white women in certain power spaces is now in some cases being accessed through powerful Black women. Not instead of, but in addition to. And this is how white feminism has shaped this system, because white women in the system have normalized a certain aspect of participation where you align with male power, where you gain what you can, but you ultimately do not destabilize male dominance. And in return, you get to stay in the system. But this was not a contract that Black women signed, because Black women in this system had to build their power without any protection, sustain visibility under higher levels of scrutiny, and generate their success without any sort of buffers. So when men are engaging with Black women in this system, they're engaging with a different type of power. Self-generated, not system granted. And while that seems like it would make it more powerful, it's far more threatening. So Black women who are desired for their power and men see as useful for access ends up punished more harshly for their autonomy. Because while men, they have an attraction to power, they have a need to dominate it. There are many powerful white women within Hollywood, and those that have used their power to help their husbands elevate in their careers often end up sidelined. And that's how white feminism in these spaces maintain proximity to power, by not functionally challenging it. But Black women, their existence challenges it. The system is constantly throwing litmus tests at them. So this isn't about individual men. It is about the system of men who have always extracted from women through white women first, and now extending that same logic to Black women who attain power. Men are not changing, just the terrain. And Black women are operating in spaces that don't just attract admiration, but strategies, which means that they are not just being chosen, but being evaluated, positioned, leveraged. When women refuse to become infrastructure for someone else's power, they're corrected publicly. When we see it as not drama, it's enforcement. Black women didn't fight to get into the system. They fought for their own personal power, but now they're in it. And the system is going to keep trying to extract from them. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, subscribe to my channel. I look forward to having this discussion with you in the comments, so ciao ciao for now.